Hey, day. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I don't know if you guys have been following, but it looks like Tucker Carlson is gone out of Fox News. I was looking, and I just saw this report today, and it was kind of crazy. Tucker Carlson is out, and this occurs right after Fox News paid a massive, or they're going to pay a massive amount of money to resolve a lawsuit. Dominion voting machines pretty much sued Fox for $1.5 billion because of election fraud, basically, for lying to the public, allegedly, about the last election and whether or not Donald Trump actually won or whether the election was rigged. And so Tucker Carlson being gone, I think that's a big deal. I think that's kind of insane. I didn't think that they would ever let go of Tucker Carlson. I'm really not sure about the financial choices behind this move. I don't quite get it, but I'm sure there's a reason for that, right? And what's also crazy, which really blew my mind, was that Don Lemon is also out of CNN. Now, I don't know how many of y'all knew that. Give me a yes or no if you knew that too, that Don Lemon is out of CNN and Tucker Carlson's gone. So literally on the same day, you have two of the biggest hosts on network television, on these news channels or whatever, that are both gone at the same time. So anyway, I'd be curious to know what you guys think about it, because Tucker was just sort of a staple on Fox. I'd be willing to bet you that Fox is going to lose at least $100 million a year by not having Tucker on the job. I'm really curious to see how much money they might have paid him to get him out of there. I don't know. How do y'all feel about it? Like, do you think that that's a good thing? Are you happy about that? I honestly will admit, I think that as far as Fox News hosts go, Tucker was one of the more intelligent hosts. He was kind of like the Fox News version of Rachel Maddow. And I didn't get completely offended by everything he did. I felt like he did a lot of good stuff in terms of exposing what was going on during the pandemic, and his interview with Elon Musk was really good. Now, Don Lemon, it was kind of touchy. Don didn't like me very much, and he had me on his show a couple times just to try to ambush me and stuff like that. But I was surprised to see them both go on the same day. So, in fact, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Let me look up. I'm gonna do a quick search here. Yeah, so Don Lemon was fired. So they're claiming Tucker left, but Don Lemon, they're saying Don Lemon was fired. Like, get out of here, dude. Like, you're gone. Like we don't want you here anymore. And he said that he's stunned by it, which absolutely positively. I didn't think Don would ever be fired by CNN. I thought Don was their guy. I thought he played the game. He did the cartwheels. He did everything that he was supposed to do. He did it the way he was supposed to do it. But according to NBC, they said, let's see here. Don Lemon was terminated from his anchor role at CNN, he announced Monday. The news comes after Variety published a story earlier this month on allegations that he mistreated his female colleagues over the course of his career there. And earlier this year, he faced backlash over widely criticized comments he made on air. Lemon announced the news on Twitter, saying he was informed by his agent that he was being terminated. I am stunned. After 17 years at CNN, I would have thought someone in management would have the decency to tell me directly. CNN CEO Chris Light said that the network and Lemon have parted ways, according to a memo provided to NBC News Monday. Quote, Don will forever be a part of the CNN family. We thank him for his contributions over the past 17 years, the statement said. We wish him well and will be cheering him on in future endeavors. It doesn't sound like that was an amicable parting of ways. What do y'all think? Sounds like Don's a little salty. He's a little salty over this. This is interesting. And you know what's funny is honestly, this makes me think about, remember when Paul Mooney used to talk about these your Negro wake up call? Remember he used to talk about getting that wake up call where they remind you that you black. And I'm thinking when it comes to Don, I'm kind of feeling like that's what's going on here. I'm feeling like Don kind of got his Negro wake up call. Now, here's the thing with Don Lemon. I don't love the guy or hate the guy. I just thought that he was their guy, and I thought that he would get special privileges because he's invested so much into CNN. You would not expect Don Lemon to be dumped like this. You also would not expect Don Lemon to part ways in such a nasty fashion. You would think that Don would have some sort of graceful exit from the network, but that's not the case. It looks like CNN basically canned him. And I don't know how many of y'all are surprised. I am absolutely shocked. Because I just thought that he was okay. So it looks to me like Don Lemon is going out for the same reason that so many other black men lose their jobs. You get accused of being mean to white women, and you're out. If a white woman's unhappy with you and she reports you to HR and says you were mean or disrespectful or overly aggressive, you're going to lose your job. So it looks like that's what happened to Don. Even though Don is not heterosexual, he is gone. So with Don and Tucker being fired on the same day, I just think that's insane. I think that's one of the bigger developments in the news space, probably in the last 20 or 30 years. I can't think of a bigger day in terms of these two major events happening at the same time. It also makes me wonder if there was some sort of coordination here. Was there a decision where Fox and CNN both sort of made an agreement, some sort of mutual agreement, like, hey, if you get rid of this guy, we'll get rid of that guy. I don't know. And the reason I'll say this is because I believe these networks work together. I do believe that. And why do I believe that? Well, I remember years ago, I got into a back and forth with Bill O'Reilly, and CNN was using me as a pawn. I didn't know this at the time, but they would bring me on just so I could really talk about Bill O'Reilly and the racism of Bill O'Reilly. Well, at first they were cool with it. They were really into it and everything else. And then it got to the point where O'Reilly started firing back. He started attacking CNN. He started attacking Syracuse University, etc. And so I think it got to the point where it got so hot that CNN got on the phone with Fox and said, okay, let's just get rid of this guy altogether. Let's just, if you stop, we'll stop, because we don't really want to hurt each other like that. And next thing I know, my manager, I'll never forget, manager, not agent, it was a publicist. My publicist, who used to book me on CNN and Fox every other day, she said, I think you've been blackballed. Every time I book you, they cancel. Every single time I book you, they cancel. Book you, cancel. And so what I'm thinking is that there was some point where, like, that was where I kind of learned in terms of white supremacy that they kind of work together. We think the Democrats and Republicans are on separate teams. They're not on separate teams. They kind of have this Batman versus the Joker relationship where they both benefit by throwing shots at each other, but not too many shots. Right. And so ultimately, I wonder if there was a connection between the firing of Tucker Carlson and, the firing of Don Lemon and the dismissal or exit of Tucker Carlson. I don't know what y'all think. But this is big. This is a very big deal. But anyway, do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. If you have not done that yet, my name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. You're watching drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people. And by intelligent black people, I'm not talking about Negroes that went to school. Intelligent black people are people that want to be intelligent. Intelligent black people are people that value intelligence. Intelligent black people are people that want to rebuild the community and make us better. So that's what I mean when I say the home for intelligent black people. I'm not talking about who went to school. I know a whole lot of educated fools. So I really also, now with Tucker Carlson, my speculation is that it might have had something to do with this massive verdict in the Dominion case. If you don't know, Fox News was sued for $1.5 billion for just, sort of being incendiary during the or right after the election. They really sort of hung on to Trump's theory that the whole election was rigged and that the election was stolen. And whether you believe that or not, I don't know. But I will say that it was odd to me that the reason I think Fox News was full of crap in the whole election stealing scenario was not because I think it's impossible to steal an election. I'm wide open-minded on any potential conspiracy theory. The reason I thought that Fox was full of it was because they didn't believe it themselves, right? It's one thing if you're saying something that you vehemently believe. It's another thing if you are just saying it just so you want to piss off people and scare old white people and stuff like that. And I think that was the part that was manipulative. Fox is very good at building their base on fear. I watch Fox sometimes, and I watch CNN sometimes. And CNN and MSNBC, they have their own version of fear mongering, right? Like during the pandemic, they had everybody thinking that the only way a black person can die is from the virus, when really they've never ever talked extensively about the actual four horsemen of death. In case y'all want to know, like, give me a yes if you want to know this. My wife and I were talking, um, uh, uh, and basically what she was going through was a book on the things that kill people. You know, why some people live longer than others, and she told me the four horsemen of death. And I'm gonna tell you, she and I are gonna do a pillow talk about this because I think it's important to understand if you really care about black people living. The four horsemen of death are cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and heart disease. Cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's, and diabetes. Those are the four horsemen of death. And how many of you, give me a yes, how many of you have relatives who have diabetes? In fact, they sell you diabetes on every street corner nowadays. Like all the processed food, all the crap that the FDA approves that isn't approved in any other country, all the nonsense that they have you eating at the fast food restaurants, got you running to Popeye's chicken and all that. So one of the bones I had to pick with media, especially the left media, with MSNBC and CNN, was during the pandemic. I said, y'all act like black people don't die unless it's from COVID. Y'all act like this is the biggest emergency to ever hit the black community. And it just so happens that you're making money promoting this. You're getting paid by these pharmaceutical companies to get black people to get these jabs. And you're using this myth, this lie that you actually care about us as your motivation. And I know you ain't doing it because you care about us, because you ain't never cared about us. You ain't never showed up when we were really, really struggling, really, really dying. You'll sell us a death meal in a second. So write that down somewhere. My wife, I was fortunate enough to marry a really smart black woman. Everybody should have one on their side. And this really smart black woman that I'm married to, who has a PhD, and she's a full professor of social work. She's not just a regular PhD. A very small number of PhDs become full professors. She reads 22 books a year, and her latest book was literally like on longevity, what lets people live and what causes people to die. And she was reporting back to me what she was reading, and she said the four horsemen of death are cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's, and diabetes. Diabetes is the gateway disease that opens the door for all the other stuff. And I know that you know what I'm talking about, because a lot of y'all got people in your family that have these things right now. Give me a yes if you have some relative who is either suffering from one of these things or dead from one of these things. Give me a yes in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. So the ways to avoid the four horsemen, she said, were sleep. Plenty of sleep. Don't let people talk you into not getting enough sleep. I think there's a platform called Sleep is for Suckers, and I wish they would change the name of the platform, because I don't think sleep is for suckers. I think a lack of sleep is for suckers. Like a lack of sleep will kill you. A lack of sleep will kill you. I'm not kidding. Look it up. Look it up. She says sleep, exercise, mental health, keeping your mental health cool. That means that's why I'm a big fan of black people quitting their jobs and starting their own businesses, so you can get away from racism, which is probably the number one thing that will deteriorate your mental health as a black person. What else? Let me see. Exercise, mental health, sleep, and there was one more. Damn it. Why, Boyce, I hate it when I forget stuff. Sleep, exercise, mental health, and diet. Diet. So here's how I remember this. Right now, I'm gonna go back to Tucker and Don in a second, but here's how I remember this. I remember everything with acronyms. So I want you to remember this. So mental health, exercise, diet, and sleep. That spells meds, MEDS. So I said, okay, so if you take your meds, you can avoid CHAD. CHAD is the angel of death. CHAD, that stands for cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's and diabetes. I'm saving your life right now. I promise you, I'm saving your life. For some of y'all, I'm saving. I know I'm saving my own life because I woke up today. I said, "Babe, we're gonna change everything. I want to exercise more. I want to eat differently. I'm gonna do intermittent fasting because I'm tired of watching my relatives die. I'm going to a funeral this week. Got some more funerals on deck. I ain't doing that no more." So again, just sticking with the conversation we had the other day, where I was saying that we got to have our own conversations about the things that are gonna make us well and make us whole. White people love you, but you're not invited. I don't hate you, but this is not your discussion. You don't control this. But literally, so the acronym is MEDS. Take your meds, and you can avoid Chad. Okay, so if you forget what they are, the med stands for mental health, exercise, diet, and sleep. Those four things will help you avoid Chad, the angel of death, which is cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's, and diabetes. Those are the four horsemen of death. Okay, I hope this is helpful. Forgive me for going in this direction, but I hope that it helps you in your own life. All right, so my conclusion on this, in terms of Tucker going and Don going at the same time, I'm really curious to hear the rest of the story. I'm sure with Fox letting Tucker go, it must be something that they, mutually agreed on as a result of this massive lawsuit. I don't think the Dominion lawsuit is disconnected from Tucker's leaving Fox. I think that they're connected to each other. Don Lemon, it's interesting to see him get the typical Negro treatment. I've told you all that I don't think black males should aim and as a goal to work in these types of environments because white women have the power. White women have all the power. So if they accuse you of something that you did not do or something that's ambiguous, they will fire your black ass before they even know all the facts. So now it's not to say Don didn't do anything wrong. It's not, maybe Don's a complete prick, whatever. But I think that these accusations from women are what caused Don to lose his job. So, and Don is not happy. So that's going to be interesting. I can see Don filing lawsuits and all that stuff. He seems like a little angry, little bitchy man. So I'm sure the lawsuit's on its way. All right, guys. So anyway, do me a favor, thumbs up, share, subscribe. My new book is called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. You can find that book on Amazon right now. It is an Amazon bestseller. I'm very proud of that because we are an independent Black-owned company. I want to say thank you to everybody who joined us in Houston. We did a Black Wealth Boot Camp this weekend. It was extraordinary. We had a ton of people there. And if you want to look at some other content on the channel, we've hit some other things like the economy's ugly three-headed monster, the major threats to the economy that you really want to watch out for. In terms of the coming recession. We also did one on a professor, a brave professor out of Duke University, Sandy Darity, who went on Dr. Phil and gave him the business and said black people owe $14 trillion in reparations. You can find all of this on drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people. Last but not least, if you'd like to take a look at our financial flashcards for kids or the training I put together for you guys on how to make money without working, feel free to go to boycewatkins.com. So God bless you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Take care now. Peace.